That is a quarter of a football team. Okay? That's just in Texas at the University of Texas. We know the University of Houston already got postponed its voluntary workouts because sport athletes were testing positive when coming back to Houston. It's going to happen to Montana, Montana State, and the frontier schools. When kids start coming back in July, they're not coming from East Helena to Carroll solely. You know where they're coming from? A lot of the frontier schools, Washington, Oregon, California. Who's got high cases of COVID? Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona as well. So while everybody wants to praise the governor, and he did do a good job early on, what are you going to do now with the new cases? I mean, we've seen a dramatic spike in COVID cases in Montana just in the last couple of days. What are you going to do? I reached out to the governor's office. Guess what? They still haven't responded. They still don't want to come on. Why is that? Are you afraid of actually getting tough questions asked of you? And because I'm going to ask you tough questions, it's not just the softball questions you get from local media outlets. Because I'm telling you right now, Gov, if you can't handle my questions, you sure as heck ain't going to handle the ones if you were to win the Senate. So come on the show and let's talk some COVID. Let's talk a lot of things, Governor Bullock. Would love to pick your brain. All right. We talked more about cancel culture a little bit. And I was listening to Will Cain show on ESPN today. And Will said something. Will Cain said on his show Monday, actually, too, when talking about the Eyes of Texas song. And then again today. With the Florida University of Florida has come out. President Kent Fuchs announced today that the Gator Bait chant will no longer be performed by the Gator Band or anyone associated with the Athletic Association at Florida University. Fuchs says, quote, "While I know of no evidence of racism associated with our Gator Bait cheer at UF sporting events, there is a horrific, historic racist imagery associated with the phrase. Accordingly, University Athletics and the Gator Band will discontinue use of the cheer," end quote. So the cheer is after like a quick band intro and then fans chomp twice with their arms and cheer Gator Bait. So this is what Will Cain said. And it makes all the sense in the world. Just because something was, like in the Eyes of Texas instance, written around the time and using minstrels, and minstrels were terrible. A lot of white people wearing blackface, wrong. But the Eyes of Texas isn't racist. Now, the Gator Bait chant, and if you Google Gator Bait, it's bad. Years and years and years ago, they used to use black babies as gator bait to lure alligators. Horrendous. Absolutely wrong. But despite having no evidence of racism associated with the Florida Gator Bait cheer, it's been banned. Just because something has been associated around, was invented around, or is somehow around the same time frame as something evil, doesn't make it racist. It really doesn't. Gator Bait 100 years ago, absolutely horrific. No question about it. How it became. The cheer, People in a stadium making the gator bait, the chomp, not racist. And the president of the University of Florida came out and said there's no evidence of racism associated with the cheer. But it still is getting banned. That's cancel culture today. Nobody will do the research needed. Google the history of Aunt Jemima. The first two Aunt Jemima ladies. And then Aunt Jemima gets its logo changed yesterday, the product. And the name is going to get changed. Uncle Ben's is gone. Sometimes it's actually, so just because something is associated with a time frame of really bad stuff doesn't make it racist. But everything today is offensive to somebody. And I don't know how it, I want to have more discussion. I was on a Zoom call today with National Sports Media Association. And they had LaChina Robinson and Jay Harris, both African American, speaking about racism in sports and how to talk about it as a white guy. And it was interesting. It was a great conversation. And it was fun. It was good to listen. Much like we did a couple weeks ago when we had Ife College on and Anthony Owens on. And now we're, 2 weeks later, getting rid of every statue ever associated with the United States of America. Doesn't matter what it was. Just, it's gone. But that's where we are in today. You can't, let me ask you this. Is Baby Shark going to be outlawed? Because the Florida Gator, part of their cheer, was making the chomping sound. Well, that's Daddy Shark. Not sound, the hand signals. That's Daddy Shark. You got Baby Shark, Mama Shark, Daddy Shark. So we got to get rid of that now, right? We're getting rid of Paw Patrol because it's has a cop in it, a dog cop. We got rid of, Elmer Fudd's quote unquote oversized hunting rifle. No, CNN dude, it's called a shotgun. We're just getting rid of everything. And this isn't being ignorant to what's going on in the world, in the United States especially. It's terrible. But cancel culture is worse right now. Okay, not worse. I'll take that statement back. But cancel culture is really bad. Really, really bad. Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy still is probably going to lose his job despite all of his apologies for wearing a t-shirt. Because it's not a CNN t-shirt. But, oh well. Hey, let's change it. We'll talk about something really positive when we come back. We get to chat storm chasing, especially in Montana. And especially eastern Montana. We get great storms over here in the west, not like they get over in eastern Montana. And Neil Hines will join us. It's from Montana Weather Storm Chasers on Facebook. Great stuff. We'll talk to Neil next here on the Jason Walker Show inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. If you want to weigh in on anything you want to talk about, tweet us, message us, get a hold of me. My phone number's basically public. If you can find it, it's pretty easy to find. But let's chat. But we're going to talk storm chasing next. Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too. Auto Concepts also has gift certificates for dad or yourself. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
June is anniversary month at Rucker's Furniture, and you won't believe the savings you'll find on the largest selection of home furnishings in Helena. At Rucker's, you'll find sofas, sleepers, recliners, reclining sofas, leather, bedroom, dining room, occasional tables, entertainment consoles, Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in town, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. For great values on new looks for your home, shop the anniversary sale at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back on a Thursday inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Been telling you about the table the wife bought a couple of weeks ago at Rucker's Furniture. The leaf comes out of the middle. It's like Back to the Future type stuff. It's weird. It's really cool, but it's weird. So you don't have to deal with the leaves and smashing your hands and all that stuff. Go to Rucker's Furniture. Check it out. Get a fantastic deal right now, too, with it being anniversary month. So, all right. Still to come on this day in history. Also going to check in on the walk-off, and I've got some more thoughts. We got some more rodeo stuff probably to chat about. Who knows? But joining us right now is a guy I've been talking to on Facebook for, a little bit here and there. He's a storm chaser. His name is Neil Hines. And Neil, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to have you on, and I appreciate you taking the time. And first off, rescheduling last week to this week. But why did you get into this? I mean, this is something really cool.
How I got into it is a bit of a mystery, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Just started off, watching thunderstorms pass over the house, and then it was actually, I guess you can kind of almost put it on like a pin. It was a book written by a famous meteorologist, Reed Timmer, and he described how you storm chase and what it's like to storm chase. And I was like, I'm gonna go out and try it. And then it's been about 5 years now, and I feel like I'm finally getting good.
Well, okay, so I mean, we all know about Reed Timmer, and he's been around. We know all about the storm chasers that are all over. We see him on the Weather Channel all the time. I guess Reed would be your inspiration for this, right?
Yeah, his energy that he came forward with it. He's a pretty wild guy. If you ever listen to his stuff, he's a little extreme, but yeah, his energy it showed me what storm chasing was. And I'm definitely not the same person as him. We have different styles, but I'd say he inspiration. I looked up to him. Definitely.
When you're out and about storm chasing, first off, do you have just a normal car, or you got one of these fancy rigs?
I don't have a fancy rig. I'm just using a station wagon roof.
Nice.
What's fancy about it now is the amount of hail dents on it.
Oh, that would make sense because
Yeah, that's a good. Any storm chaser is going to be pretty proud of their hail dents.
That's something you don't get fixed, I guess, right?
No, you keep them. They're like battle scars.
Neil Hines joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. He is a storm chaser. You can check out his stuff on Facebook, MTWX Storm Chasers. The WX standing for weather. Not many people realize that, which is interesting, but the abbreviation for weather is the WX. All right, so, we think of these storm chasers and, we watch them on, like I said, the Weather Channel, and they're, Tornado Alley. They're giving these great updates and really putting themselves not in harm's way, but it's a dangerous profession. And for you just to get some great shots that I'll show some on Facebook here, but you got to get really close.
Yeah, there's definitely an art to it. When it comes to danger, the most dangerous thing is honestly driving to the storm and driving away from the storm. I'm never really in harm's way from the storm, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's traffic. Driving is inherently dangerous. And then, when you're adding, slick roads, lightning, you're a little excited. You're also a little distracted trying to figure out which roads you're going to take next.
Right.
It adds up. I'd say driving's the most dangerous part of storm chasing.
Sounds a little like a hunting trip that my uncle and I used to go on. We could see the deer or the antelope. We just never knew which road we were going to take to get to them. And you get that you get that buck fever going, right? Is that kind of how you feel when you're chasing storms? That adrenaline rush?
Yeah, the first couple of years, definitely it was. I get it going. But now I'd say I've kind of settled into I get excited, but I have to keep a certain amount of calm and chill, just so I can stay with the storm and keep up with it. If you get too excited, it gets away from you. It's kind of funny how that works. How
close to the movie Twister is storm chasing?
It's hit or miss. I just actually rewatched that movie. It's on Netflix now. This is the first movie I ever saw in theaters too.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But,
possibly.
Yeah, I'd say the one thing the movie nails is the driving, the convoying, driving around. Not so much the driving off roads, plowing through people's fields. That doesn't happen. Driving right into tornadoes. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right. That's probably the best words of wisdom you can probably give anybody if they want to chase a storm. I'm assuming.
Yeah. And the other big misconception I think the movie Twister puts out there is that tornadoes aren't constant, happening all the time and boring down on you every minute of the day.
Right.
They're really rare, really hard to find. A good storm chaser might only see 2 tornadoes a year.
Really?
Yeah, it's on a mediocre year. There's been outbreaks and weather setups where you can get tornadoes 3 days in a row, but they are rare.
That is interesting. I never thought of it because, like I said, the last few years or the last 20 years, you watch the Weather Channel, and it seems like every day there's, every afternoon there's somewhere with storm chasers following storms and tornadoes.
Yeah.
That's
And,
interesting.
maybe like, tornadoes happen, the loose definition of a tornado. But when it comes to those, the great white tornadoes, those are super rare. And I think the reason why a lot of people think they're everywhere is because they see the same photos over and over.
Oh, yeah.
You have like 100 storm chasers out there taking photos of this tornado. And then all these different angles makes it seem like multiple tornadoes. And then the news kind of runs that over, and it just kind of seems like, wow, there's tornadoes everywhere today.
True.
Probably just one.
Neil Hines, our guest here, Jason Walker Show on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. A lot of studying, I'm guessing, before you go out and just to know which type of cloud you're looking for. I mean, we learned a little bit about stuff like that in elementary school, but not to the extent that I'm sure you need.
Yeah. Because when you're storm chasing, like a lot of people depend on the radar. I'm driving. I can't be looking at the radar while driving.
Right.
Well,
We shouldn't be.
I have to identify clouds by looking at them. And yeah, you can. What's the standard? The cumulonimbus cloud is usually what I'm looking for, and I have a certain type of like crispness I like the clouds to be at. What we say is you want cauliflower looking clouds, not cotton candy looking clouds, like fuzzy looking clouds.
Okay.
You want them to be like rigid, like vegetables. That's what we say. You want your vegetables, not your candy in the sky.
Wow.
If that makes sense. Because the more explosive the cloud is, just the more crisp it becomes.
Gotcha.
Like that harder lines in the sky.
Gotcha. Storm shelves, are those cool to see out in the open? When you get that cloud shelf or whatever they're called?
Oh, shelf clouds?
Shelf cloud, yeah.
Yeah, I love shelf clouds. A lot of storm chasers don't like them because it means your storm is basically outflow dominant, and that means no tornadoes.
Oh, okay.
But they're gorgeous. I love them. They span the horizon. And then when you get ran over by it, it's like you're getting eaten by a whale or something. They're really cool.
Wow. You can follow his work on Facebook. What is it? Facebook.com/StormPro? Is that?
Yeah, MT
Storm Pro. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say MT Storm Pro Gallery is my Facebook page.
Yeah. MT Storm Pro Gallery. Yes. Fantastic photos. All right. So do you hang out mainly in Montana? Because I was saying before we got on the air that here in western Montana, we get some pretty cool storms, and central Montana, but really it's eastern Montana where a lot of this stuff is missed because it's very, it's less populated over in eastern Montana, but there's some fantastic storms over there.
Yeah, gorgeous. Up here, we call this the High Plains region. Higher elevation, it's a higher elevated desert out here. And that pushes our storm clouds higher up into the sky. And for some reason, when that happens, and also the amount of humidity here, way less rain wrapping on our storms. So our storms are incredibly visible, and you can see them. And that's what made me fall in love with storms is the Montana storms out here are unlike anything you'd see actually further down into like Tornado Alley.
Right. Neil, when you mentioned something about the outflow with the shelf cloud. How do you tell the outflow or if it's got inflow?
Well, if you're standing to the east of a storm, if you have wind pushing against your back going into the storm, that means your storm is intaking air. If you're standing in front of the storm and there's wind coming out of the storm at you, that means it's pushing air away, outflow.
Sounds pretty easy when you phrase it that way.
Yeah, everything is very based in reality.
So, is there a side of a storm that's worse?
Yeah, there is multiple. It depends on what type of storm. If we're talking supercells, Yeah, the tornado is going to be obviously the worst part of the storm, and that'd be usually on the kind of the southeast side of the storm. Usually, maybe even the rear end of the storm. It's where tornadoes tend to form.
Okay.
And then, but what I usually kind of take as the danger zone is where the hail's falling, and that's usually just to the north of the updraft base.
Okay. And
Um,
does hail always precede a tornado?
No, they do not actually. They're related because tornadoes and updraft, pushing rain in the sky, freezing it, holding it up, dropping. But they don't always exist together.
Well, no, I meant like if there's a tornado, will you always have hail? I guess is a better way to phrase it. Okay.
Yeah. Not always. No.
Okay.
I guess, they tend to be together, but, weather's freaky. It does what it wants sometimes. Things aren't always like peas in a pod.
Well, she is called Mother Nature for a reason, right?
Yes.
She can change her mind in a heartbeat.
Yeah, she's in charge.
That's right. Neil Hines joining us here, Jason Walker Show. All right. Most dangerous storm you've been in?
The most dangerous storm I've been in, I would probably have to say my very first time in Montana. What was it, 2016? It was my first big chase. What was dangerous about it was the fact I didn't know much.
Okay.
And I put myself out there in almost a bad situation, but we were able to get away from it. There was a tornado on the ground basically coming at us. And we blasted south at the last second. But yeah, that was probably the closest call I've ever had.
How much do you follow? Like you said, you can't drive and watch the radar, but when you're stopped somewhere, or, obviously you're watching then, or are you just watching the storm, or are you watching, the radar to see where it's possibly going to go next?
It's a juggle. You're constantly juggling all those things.
Crazy.
Watching the storm, watching my radar, looking at the maps, studying, trying to like bring up satellite images of the roads I'm going to be taking, but I know that they're there at least.
You hope they are.
Yeah. Yeah, you hope. And I've heard stories of chasers getting dead-ended with like massive tornadoes behind them.
Wow.
And I was over in, I think it was South Dakota in 2012. Yeah, it was a huge like EF3 tornado, EF4. And a handful of chasers got kind of boxed in at the end of this dirt road. And luckily the tornado lifted as it passed over top of them.
Wow. Neil Hines, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. So when take me, how far out do you plan here? Like you and I talked and, we'd hoped last week that you were going to be out possibly chasing right now, but there's really nothing going on aside from just boring rain in the state of Montana right now. So how many days out are you looking?
I've got multiple weather models that I use. The GFS gets me about 15 days out.
Okay.
And that's pretty loose. I really don't know if it's going to be a good day. I'd say like 3 days is I'm starting to get a pretty good idea of what's happening. And then usually day of, it's kind of hit or miss.
And
you can hit the road and head all the way down to Texas and nothing happens. It's called blue sky bust.
so how far do you travel, or do you stick around Montana?
So I mainly stick around Montana. Every year I tend to take a big trip. Last year I went down to Texas with some really professional storm chasers. Saw some tornadoes. That was way cool. That actually felt like I was in the movie Twister on those ones. But yeah, I'd say, on a given weekday night, if it's looking good, you might find me out by Baker randomly.
Yeah. They had a big tornado 3-4 years ago during the high school rodeo finals.
2017 or 2000. I think it was 2016.
Yeah, I think 16
during the rodeo. That was a crazy day. I was out chasing. I ended up going after what's called the left split of the supercell and missed the tornado, unfortunately.
Oh man!
But I guess a lot of you miss them. You see them, you miss them. But a lot of people missed it that day. I think it was a rather dynamic weather event.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reed Timmer was out that day, and he missed it.
Oh, really? He was in Montana that day, huh?
Yeah, he was. I was talking to him about it, and he said, "What do you say?" He was like, "Yeah, I was on the storm, and like 20 minutes before the tornado drop, I said it's not going to happen," and he went home.
Wow. So, where's he based out of?
He's in Colorado now.
Oh, okay. So, what's your favorite state to go chase storms in?
I'd say Montana. I love Montana.
Why is that? Because we don't think of, I know we say Eastern Montana has some great storms, and they do, but we don't think of Montana. We think of Tornado Alley, really, or even the I guess the eastern side of Colorado kind of starts all that. Well, that's where we think of it. We don't think Montana necessarily for great storms.
Yeah, and we probably get like maybe 2-3 days of Tornado Alley storms here in Montana. This year, I think we only had one day. We had actually the 2 days was in early April. It was over by Harleton, a possible tornado, and then in eastern Montana around Glasgow, there was another tornado warning. But that's about it for Montana. The reason why I like chasing out here is because there's way less storm chasers. There's way less people on the roads.
True.
I think the storms out here are just a little bit more beautiful than the storms down there. Maybe I'm just
impartial a little bit.
A little biased, yeah.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, Neil. We all love Montana.
And then I'm also doing, service to my own community, warning my own state of the impending dangers.
Sure, yeah. So where are you out of?
I live in Billings.
Oh, okay.
Central.
All right. So you can get to Eastern Montana in a hurry.
Yeah, I can get out there and almost to the border in like 2 hours now.
So were you there when the Father's Day tornado in Billings a few years ago?
Yeah, actually, I did see that one.
Crazy.
I was when it hit the Metra, and there's a little park behind the Metra called Two Moon Park.
Uh-huh.
And this was before I was a storm chaser, and I was just walking my dog in that park, and I remember looking up and seeing that wall cloud. At the time, I didn't know it was a wall cloud. But I remember just like, that is a mean-looking storm. And I just left that area immediately, and 10 minutes later, a tornado dropped.
Wow. I've been in a tornado warning once, and we had to take shelter. We were in a campground in Nebraska, so we had to go take shelter in the bathroom, which is weird. But but I've never seen a tornado on the ground. And, people think a lot of times too, Neil, that did a tornado come through and it really was a microburst? How do you know if you're going to have a microburst instead? Or do you?
I would say you don't really know about the microburst. That's just when I was talking about inflow versus outflow.
Okay.
Your microburst is an outflow event. And so that's just basically the storm has quit going up, and now it's like, I'm going to drop it all right here, right now. And it just drops all of its wind and hail right in one spot. And a lot of people, I guess you can refer to it as like an upside down tornado. Instead of going up, everything's coming down.
Gotcha.
And I think I've never been able to like say like, oh, the storm's about to do a microburst. But you can always tell on the tornadoes, when the clouds start spinning.
Watching a video, I think it's Rygate that you have on your Facebook page, and it starts off. It's dark, and then it's light, and then it gets real dark again. Yeah,
and which one is that? It might be
just from a couple of weeks ago. It looks like it says, but great video.
Ago? Okay. That was the Harleton supercells that were going through.
Oh, okay.
That was those were gorgeous storms. That was probably the best storm day I've seen in Montana this year.
So is Montana
structure?
Is Montana weather, Neil, the same as we think of tornadoes? Not really year round. They happen year round across the country, but is Montana, like from April to June, or is what month is the best in the state for good storms like this?
I would say the end of June. What does I always say? June 23rd, June 22nd. Those kind of, for the last couple of years, I've been seeing really big storms on those days.
Okay.
kind of end of June is when we start to see those kind of dynamics play out in our sky.
Gotcha. Yeah, because it seems like, those great summer storms is right when summer starts in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just gets hot in July and August.
Yeah, and then so the way I like to think about it is kind of like the moisture access starts over in Alabama early April, and it kind of works its way up across northwest across the United States, hitting Tornado Alley for the month of May. And then when it gets into June, it kind of gets up here.
Okay.
And then it moves up into Canada. And then once it gets up there, it starts moving back down towards Alabama again.
Crazy.
And it's just kind of, that's how I've always thought of it.
That's
It's
weird,
this little
man.
axis area that moves across the United States basically as our planet goes around the sun and the axis of the Earth changes.
We were talking, I did weekend weather at KFBB in Great Falls back in the early 2000s. And, I'm not a meteorologist. I always like to say I'm not a TV guy. I just used to play one, or a weather guy. I just used to play one on the TV. But it was cool because, you talk to people from the National Weather Service there in Great Falls, and they say they have had people volunteer to come to Montana because it's so hard to predict the weather in the state. Because you get like three different storm systems that can converge. You get stuff coming out of Canada, you get the Pacific Northwest, and then Montana. A lot of people in Montana don't realize we get a lot of our storms that come up from the Southwest too.
Yep. Yeah. So that's like where our moisture is coming from. We can get moisture all the way from the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Reaches all the way up here, and that's what I'm tracking is that Gulf Coast moisture. We do get a lot of moisture coming in from west, from Seattle, makes it up over the mountains. That tends to be a bit more of like a trough system. No, sorry, a ridged system, which is you get storms, but they're not going to rotate or do anything funky on you.
Neil Hines, our guest here. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it's all about I call them the ridged. I'm all backwards. The trough systems are your tornado systems.
Okay.
And that happens with that Gulf Coast moisture.
So I asked you earlier, when you're looking at the weather forecast, are you looking at nationwide and thinking, okay, that's got a possibility to get to Montana?
Oh, I always, I look nationwide all the time because if there's something like this, just like a slam dunk, I'm going to head towards it.
Oh, okay.
If it's down in Texas and I was like, oh, that's going to be like a good day. I'm going to head down there.
A good day for you guys is a bad day for a lot of others. You know that, right?
Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
So how old are you? Because you're not an old dude here.
I'm 29 years old.
Okay, so yeah, you're just a young pup.
Yeah, I still got a lot of chasing ahead of me.
Yes, you do. Hey, aside from Reed, who else that have you run into on your travels chasing storms?
I've met Jeff Petrowski.
Okay.
I'm probably just destroying his last name.
No, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
He's credited for saving a lot of lives in Joplin.
Oh yeah.
He tracked that storm into that town and put the warnings on it. I got to meet him last summer. That was pretty cool. And then I actually got to chase storms with the legendary Derek Smith. You look up his videos. He's one of those storm chasers like to drive right into tornadoes, basically.
Man,
so I got to ride with him. That was a little crazy.
I bet. Hey man, check him out on Facebook. It's MT. Give it to me again. I'm gonna flub it. MT Pro
Storm Pro
Gallery. MT Storm Pro Gallery on Facebook. Yeah, give him a follow, man. Great photos. We look forward to keeping us safe. If you get on a good storm, you've got my number. Call me anytime. And if you get on a good one, because we can throw some video up and everything too, man. We could be live. Like I could be in Weather Channel studios and send it out to our storm chaser, Neil Hines. How would that be? That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely link it up. I'll next time I go out, I'm not 100% sure how the rest of the year is going to pan out. Honestly, I kind of think that it's a little over, but
Well, it could be next year. It doesn't have to be tomorrow.
You never know, and that's why I say that. I'm kind of hoping it proves me wrong.
Right. Well, yeah. Hey, do you chase winter as well, or is that?
I do not. I don't like those. Nope.
No, I don't. I don't either. Winter weather is evil.
Oh, it's just terrible, and just I can't. Yeah, driving around and blizzards is
no fun.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's. I don't like to go to the grocery store when it's snowing out. So, hey man, I appreciate the time. His name is Neil Hines. Follow him on the Facebook, MT Storm Pro Gallery, and great stuff. And he's a unbelievable storm chaser, man, and one of the up and comers, I'll say. Looking forward to chatting with you down the road, my friend.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
That is Neil Hines on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Wow, great stuff. And you think about those photos that we were showing on that from Neil, but just great stuff. And like I said, we get great storms here in western central Montana, and I took some great photos of lightning not too long ago, a couple weeks ago. Remember we had the great lightning storm here in Helena, but nothing like what Neil gets to see, man, when he's out chasing storms. That's just super cool. I don't know if I'd have the guts to do it. I just don't. I'd like to. I just don't know if I could. Maybe next spring, I'll hook up with Neil and we'll do my show live from the road, and we'll be storm chasing. We might be in Oklahoma. Who knows? That would be super cool. We'll make it a business expense. I can write that off, right? I think so. Is my accountant listening? Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll come back and get you set for On This Day in History. We'll get set for tomorrow. This segment brought to you by Rutgers Furniture. We'll be right back with more Jason Walker Show.
June is anniversary month at Rutgers Furniture, and you won't believe the savings you'll find on the largest selection of home furnishings in Helena. At Rutgers, you'll find sofas, sleepers, recliners, reclining sofas, leather, bedroom, dining room, occasional tables, entertainment consoles, Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in town, and more. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. For great values on new looks for your home, shop the anniversary sale at Rutgers Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Father's Day is coming fast, and what more would that great dad in your life want than a full detail from Auto Concepts? Or maybe he would just prefer a lift kit. It's also camping season, and now is the perfect time to outfit that rig with a winch just in case. Auto Concepts is your home for everything for your vehicle, including updating your car stereo system too.